Set up over to HDMI mode.
Even this to turn on though?
For this. Oh
no, it's not. This won't turn on.
There. It's the different. It's because it's probably on a different display.
I see what you mean.
So the issue is, I think that it's on extended desktop.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to try to. Interesting. Okay. This might be an issue. But my concern is that the display settings are going to be on.
It worked yesterday when we did it with it over there only. It's just hard to you see their on the screen.
Oh, meaning it wasn't on here, it was on and go. Okay. Okay, so we'll just see. Is it recording right now then, huh?
Yep.
Okay. How are you doing, Adrian?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
How are you?
Great. We want to do extended desktop.
Well, that's where
Or is it different one?
Well,
If you wouldn't extend it, make it here. You should drag it over there.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, that's already turned off, right?
maybe.
So like one.
Yeah, we want to duplicate, you're right. Let's see if it will allow us to do that once it's plugged in. No, because it didn't duplicate. But let's try it again. Nope. There we go. You want to pull up your... You want to pull it up and we're good.
Ulises, it's on your email.
Hey, fine. Adrian. You just sent him that copy.
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick.
Come on over here.
Of course.
I'm going to introduce Emily, who's going to introduce you.
Okay.
It's fun.
I was going to introduce you.
Like, Adrian, I think you were trying to be a smart aleck there, but you were too distracted to finish your
Huh?
thought.
No, so I was going to introduce myself. Yeah, but I was just focusing on it. Because I have so many different pastors.
Failed it. We're just waiting on Hugh McHugh. He's going to come through the door in about 3, 2, right there.
They know to sneak in the back.
Well, I think Hugh has another agenda. Well, I'm going to start. My name is Ayla Donlin. I think every single person in this room, and for that I am delighted. Hey, Hugh.
Hi.
We're going to do introductions like they do at like the Grammys and whatnot. I'm going to introduce the introducer of the presenters. So the reason why I wanted to do that, I'm the director of the LifeFit Center, and we've recently had some changes in our personnel, as most of you are aware. And now, as a part of our leadership team, it's myself as the director, it's the wonderful Heidi Engler, who you all know as our operations coordinator, and now the awesome Emily Sopo as assistant director of the LifeFit Center. Yes! So this is one of Emily's first leadership duties, I guess, to take on and introduce our wonderful interns and staff members, whose names I won't say because that's Emily's job. And so I just wanted to introduce Emily in her new role as the assistant director and say thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, Miss Emily.
So we have lovely presenters today, Mr. Adrian and Mr. Ulises. So a round of applause. If you don't know Adrian and Ulises, they have been interns for a little while now.
6 months.
Yeah, so you've been here for a bit of time. And they also are our newest personal trainers. They've been doing a great job with personal training and small group and buddy training. And as you can tell by their very fit physiques, they like to lift weights. And so we thought they would be great people to do a presentation on resistance training. And with that, I will let them go ahead and take it away. Thanks, guys, for doing this.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to our resistance training and body composition workshop. I'm glad to have you guys here today. I'm Adrian, and this is Ulises. All right, let's get started. All right, so what is resistance training? So resistance training is basically when your muscle contracts to perform a certain task under external resistance. So
What's ACSM?
ACSM is the
That is the American College of Sports Medicine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they're considered like the gold standard when it comes to working out. Right, and here are some of the benefits of resistance training: improved muscular strength, weight management, better endurance, prevents or controls chronic diseases, improved balance, decreased risk of injury, and last but not least, increased bone density. All right, so resistance training and skeletal muscle. So when we resistance train, our skeletal muscle becomes more efficient at performing tasks such as gardening or mowing the lawn. And it does this because your brain becomes more efficient at connecting motor units to your muscles. And it improves your muscular endurance. Your muscles undergo hypertrophy, which means your muscles increase size, you improve in strength, and you improve in power. And we will get into that in more detail in the later slides. So here are some of the effects of aging on skeletal muscle. Unfortunately, as we age, our muscular strength decreases due to our loss of lean muscle mass, which is known as sarcopenia. And inactivity also adds to sarcopenia. Engaging in regular physical activity is essential to slowing down sarcopenia and increasing lean muscle mass. And here are some vocab words for you. What is a repetition? Do you guys know what a repetition is? So a repetition is the number of times you perform a specific exercise. And when you group a whole bunch of repetitions, that is a set. So it's a set is a group of repetitions. I'll let Ulises talk about this.
Before we dive into the resistance training, we want to emphasize that you need to have a warm-up. So warm-up is very important, and ideally you should have 5 to 10 minutes for warming up. This is to increase the blood flow to the muscles and to increase the body temperature. This gives you a better transitioning phase from a resting state into a state ready to work out. And a good warm-up includes aerobic or muscular endurance activities. So aerobic would be something like walking on a treadmill for a few minutes, or a light to moderate jog, or going on a spin bike, again a light to moderate pace. And muscular endurance activities would be something like push-ups, modified push-ups. You want to be doing things where you're moving, getting your body engaged, ready to begin a workout. And so there's 4 different phases into resistance training. The first phase is muscular endurance. This is very good for someone who's just starting out with resistance training. It's very good for beginners. This type of training focuses on lighter weights and higher repetitions. So there's a protocol. The protocol, you're going to want to focus on a 15 to 20 RM. RM stands for repetition max. So what this means is you want to pick a weight or resistance where you're going to fall between the 15 and 20 range. If you're doing more than 20 reps, that means the resistance is a little too light. If you're doing less than 15, that means it's a little too heavy for you. For volume, you want to perform 2 to 4 sets. So that's a group of repetitions, like Adrian said earlier. And between each set, you want to rest. So the rest protocol for endurance training is between 30 seconds to a minute. So you perform a set of repetitions, 15 to 20, rest about a minute, and then perform another set.
So I just want to add to on the 15 to 20 RM. So you want to be able, let's say if your goal is 20 reps, the 20th rep should be like the last one you were able to do. If you can do 21 or more, then you might have to increase the weight. It might be a little bit too light for you.
So then this is a level 1, first phase if you're just starting out. Next phase is hypertrophy. So what you want to do, this is a focus on building lean muscle mass. So like we brought up earlier, as we age, we have a increase for our chance to get sarcopenia. So building lean muscle mass helps prevent this. And the nice thing about building lean muscle mass is that it increases our metabolism. The way it increases our metabolism is that I like to think of it as your body. Muscle requires more energy to maintain. So your body requires to maintain muscle mass, you need more energy. So when you perform a task and you have more muscle mass, you require more calories. You're burning more calories when you have more muscle mass. And this type of training, you focus on higher weight, lower repetition. So the weight you would use would be something that falls in the 8 to 12 repetition max. Again, if you're performing more than 12 reps, the resistance is a little too light. If you're performing less than 8, it's a little too heavy. The volume, you perform 1 to 3 sets for hypertrophy, and the rest period is almost similar to muscular endurance. You're resting between 30 seconds to 90 seconds. And again, this is level 2, so first you want to start off with muscular endurance. Then once you spend some time in that, then you transition into muscular hypertrophy.
Could I ask a question? You
Yes.
say spend some time with that. Is it all in one period, or you first get used to one and then you start another on different days?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we'll get to that.
Okay.
But yes, you would spend like ideally 2 weeks at least on each phase.
First. And
Yes, and then transition. Yes.
I got a question.
Yes.
You mentioned to warm up. Do you have an example of how to warm up for like a beginner?
Oh yeah. So like I said, a good warm up, you could go walk on a treadmill, a light to moderate jog, or go on a spin bike. And I said muscular endurance moves. So you could do push-ups or modified push-ups, lunges, movements where you're moving arm circles. You want to start engaging, getting your joints moving. Yeah.
Yeah, so you wanna do a warm up that mimics the action you will be performing. So let's say you're going to be working on lower body. You want to do a warm up such as a lunge. That's going to get the lower body warmed up. If you're going to work shoulders, arm circles work best for that. You have a question?
As I look around and I look in the mirror, a few gray hairs or no hair here. And I might want, rather than, I guess, speak of Olympic peaking form. It's about muscle tone for the older, any adjustment towards the older group here.
Oh yes. So when you're thinking about muscular tone, you're thinking about hypertrophy. That's increasing muscle size. So anything that has to do with tone or building muscle will fall in the hypertrophy phase. So it's good to start off in the muscular endurance, get a good base of strength, and then once you have a good base of strength, you have an idea of how to do some workouts. Then you can transition into the hypertrophy phase. That would be level 2.
Yeah. So what muscular endurance generally does, it helps build stamina in your muscles to where you're able to lift a heavier load because you've already worked on muscular endurance. And that's a good question that you brought up. Because hypertrophy, people think that, you're gonna be like bodybuilder status, but that's hypertrophy. Basically, the tone of your muscles is what's improving.
Yes.
Now, what weight would people our age be lifting? 10 pounds, 15 pounds?
So it all depends.
It depends where you start. So we'll get to that also, but when you work with a trainer, you'll see that we perform assessments to see where's your starting point, and from there we'll progress. So it's hard to say for what exercise, what kind of weight you'll use. You'd have to actually perform the exercise to see. But it should be challenging enough where you fall between that range with correct form. So if you can do that, those reps where your form's not right, you're slouching your back or something, then maybe it's a little too heavy for you. You want to be able to perform these repetitions with proper form and technique. Yes.
All right. So after muscular hypertrophy, you want to work on muscular
Yeah,
strength.
so it'll be level 3, the third phase. This is focused on producing more force. So as much weight as you can push.
Okay.
So this focus on heavier weight and lower repetitions, similar to hypertrophy. And for the beginner in muscular strength, you would start in the 8 to 12 range repetition max, similar to hypertrophy training. Once you're a little more advanced, you can move on to the 1 to 6 repetition max. And again, if you're performing more than 6 reps or more than 12 reps, it's a little too light for you. If you're performing less than 8 or if you can't perform 1, then it's heavy for you.
Yeah.
For volume, you would do 1 to 3 sets. Again, 8 to 12 for the novice or intermediate, 1 to 6 for the advanced. And the rest period, if you notice, is a little longer on this one. The reason it's longer rest period is because you're working with heavier weight. Your muscle requires more time to recuperate its energy and resources to perform another set. And then, so when I talk about beginner phase, you need to go first to the muscular endurance, hypertrophy, and then strength. So beginners are beginner in strength, not beginner necessarily just starting off resistance training. You guys got that clear? Cool.
Okay.
And
then I don't know if you guys notice a pattern, but as we're progressing through the stages, the repetitions, they start to decrease because you start to increase in weight. And also in each stage, just because this is muscular strength, doesn't mean you don't gain strength in muscular endurance phase or in the hypertrophy phase. This is just like to optimize your strength gains. So you'll be noticing strength in whatever phase you're in.
the final phase is muscular power, so this will be level 4. These are for more advanced individuals. This is helpful to produce more force as fast as possible. So you're focusing on moving a weight as fast as you can. The way this differs from strength is that with strength you're trying to push as much weight as you can. With power you're trying to move it as fast as possible. So you have you're pushing a little less, but it's moving a little bit faster. The protocol for this one, again, it's lower repetitions. You're going to fall between the 3 to 6 repetition max range. You're performing 1 to 3 sets. And the rest period, again, if you notice, it's long as well because you're working with heavy sets. This is for the advanced individual, and if you see in the picture, that's a typical powerlifting movement. That's not all power training is focused on powerlifting. So I have a picture of a push-up. So the way you can do a push-up is you can descend at a normal pace and you can explode your way back up. So using your using more force and more energy to get back up as quickly as possible. So that's one way to incorporate power training into your workout. And again, you want to go first muscular endurance, hypertrophy, strength, and power before you get to power. So this is more for the advanced person. Yes. Do you guys have any questions?
I don't see the benefit of the power.
Well, with the power, where you can see a benefit is reaction time. So let's say something were to happen like at a grocery or if you're out grocery shopping, something were to fall, you know, you can move out of that situation like really quick with ease. To where like if you're not that skilled in that, you know, something might happen, you might get hit by a can of tuna or something. Yeah, that's where you would see benefit.
I can see that first two as being really important, but then the last two is more.
Oh yeah, well, like you said, it's reaction time. So when you it helps your brain and your muscles make a quicker connection. So when you need to make an immediate move or like get yourself out of danger or something, it's a faster connection that you can get yourself out of danger really quick. So another way to do a power exercise is doing a squat. So if you when you sit on a chair, you can come down regular pace, and if you come again, you'll come back up as quickly as possible. That helps. Movements like that will help you in the future. Like if you're doing to avoid a fall, you're about to fall, your legs will make a quicker connection. Your muscles make a quicker connection, preventing you from falling. That's why power is important.
Any other questions?
What if your goal isn't typically muscular power? What if you want to build muscle? Would you go into a muscular power phase with your clients?
Well, we keep them in the hypertrophy phase a little longer, but we would recommend for them to go through each phase.
Definitely to go through the phase, try variety. Make sure you don't plateau, you don't stay in the same phase. You want to have variety to your workouts. That way you're not doing the same thing every time. Your body gets used to doing the same thing. So you want to do something different every now and then, so that you're not going down, you're always coming up, right?
All right.
Question. You always have to use weights.
No, and we'll get to that later, but you don't always have to use weights. Yes. So we're talking about the phase, so which phase is right for me. It all depends how long you've been training. And regardless of the phase we're in, you're going to see benefits. So if you're in the hypertrophy phase, you will still see some strength gains, you'll still see some power gains, and you'll still see some muscular endurance benefits. But your focus will be on strength. Again, if you're on muscular endurance, you're going to see improvements in each phase. Not as significant, but you'll still see improvements in each phase. Yeah. And typically, you want to stick to each phase for 2 to 4 weeks. You want to stay consistent with one thing. That way you improve on it. But you want to stay in it for too long, otherwise your body will start getting used to it. And then that's the beauty of working with a personal trainer. So we're adding variety with you guys. So we'll start with the muscular endurance if you're just starting out. Moving on to hypertrophy after a few weeks, and then maybe we'll go back to endurance, work on some more things, and we'll be switching it up. That way you're not plateauing, you're not staying on the same thing, same routine. That way you keep improving, no plateaus.
All right. So how often should I resistance train? It's recommended to train each major muscle group about 2 to 3 days per week. And you want to give each major muscle group about 48 hours to recover. But if you guys are still feeling sore after those 48 hours, you know, you can still give it rest. You know, maybe you want to, if you're feeling sore from your upper body, you can work on lower body. You know, give your upper body a chance to recover. All right, so overtraining. So it is possible to overtrain, and here are some of the signs of overtraining. You feel fatigued, you feel exhausted, you're exceedingly sore, pain, and you have trouble sleeping. So ways that we can prevent this is to vary your workouts. And one way we can vary our workout is to work on different muscle groups for different days. All right, let's start getting into body composition. All right, so what is body composition? Composition, it's defined as a relative proportion of fat to fat-free mass in the body. Now when we're thinking of body composition and weight, body composition, it's more important to focus on body composition than weight, because you know, you can get on the scale and be, let's say, 160 pounds, you know, the first week. You get on again in 5 weeks, and you can still be at 160 pounds. What the scale doesn't tell you is how much fat you lost and how much muscle you gained. So body composition is a good way of telling you how much lean muscle mass you gain. So, you know, your focus when resistance training should be on tracking body composition rather than the numbers on the scale. All right, so resistance training and its effect on body composition. What resistance training does, it helps increase the amount of lean muscle and reduce the amount of fat mass. And since what Ulises said earlier, muscle requires more energy to maintain, which means that you burn more calories if you have more lean muscle. So if you're looking at a bodybuilder and then you're looking at someone who is overweight, they might weigh the same and be the same height, but one has significantly less fat mass than the other. So, bodybuilder would, if they're on the scale, it would say for their height they're overweight, but they're actually, it's good weight.
They're healthy.
It's muscle mass.
Yeah.
They're healthy. Thanks. All right, so here are a couple ways to resistance train. So we've got free weight training. You can use, for this, you can use things like the barbell, dumbbells. Then we've got machine-based training. You can use any of the machines out there that we have at the LifeFit Center. And then there's body weight training, so things such as push-ups, pull-ups, dips. And then finally, we get resistance band training. All right, so here are some common types of training. There's full body. So with this, I would recommend, waiting a minimum of 48 hours before training your body again. So let's say you start on Monday, you want to rest on Tuesday, and then train again on Wednesday, rest Thursday, and train again on Friday. But if you guys feel sore and fatigued, feel free to extend that, extend the rest period. And then another way of training is the upper and lower body split. So this is good because it gives your body a chance to recover. So if you work on upper body one day, the next day, if you're sore from lower body, work on lower body. And then we have the push-pull routine where on one day you'll be working on push workouts. And what a push workout is anything that you're pushing away from your body. So like push up, you squat. You notice when you do it, you're increasing the angle of your joints. That's what a push is. A pull is the exact opposite. You're decreasing the angle of your joints. You're pulling something towards you, like such as a row, maybe a hamstring curl. And the benefit of this is that a push and pull, they work on different muscles. And then the last one is circuit training. So this training incorporates like a lot of workouts. Let's say one workout right after the other with little rest. So if you're looking to burn a lot of calories, circuit training would be a really good one.
Yeah, so basically when you're performing one exercise and immediately you're performing another one with little to no rest in between. You can perform a few exercises in sequence, take a break, and then repeat the sequence. That would be a circuit training. Yeah.
All right, so these are some of the core exercises that you can do. Now, when we think core exercises, we're not talking about your abs. We're talking about just overall workouts for your body. So these core exercises, they involve 2 or more joints, which help activate synergistic muscles, which are muscles that aid in movement. So for a push-up, the main muscle would be the chest, but other muscles that aid in movement would be the tricep and the shoulders. So core exercises are also better for improving body composition because it requires a lot more energy, it burns calories, and helps increase a lot more lean muscle mass.
Yeah, these exercises require more, you're using more muscles, larger muscles and smaller muscles. They require more energy. So those of you with a time constraint or little time, you'll get bigger bang for your buck with these just because you're requiring more energy. These would help a lot with body composition. And those 3 exercises below are examples of 3 core exercises: a squat, a bench press, and a deadlift. There's other ones, but those are some common ones.
I have a quick question, fellas.
Yes.
So you mean core as in essential and
Like,
important
yes,
to
essential
your workout, not
workouts.
core as in abs
No.
and back core exercises.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
All right, so accessory exercises. These are exercises that involve one primary joint. So an example we have up here would be the chest fly. The chest fly works on your pectoral muscles, your chest muscles, and the only joint that's moving is your shoulder joint. So it's focusing on one specific muscle. Then we also have the leg extension, which focuses just on the knee joint, which focuses on your quadricep muscles. So yeah, here are some more examples: bicep curl, either with the barbell or the dumbbell, tricep extension, leg extension, and leg curl.
These are important because you want to strengthen specific muscles. So let's say you have a weaker muscle. This would be a good way to strengthen a specific muscle that's weak. Say if you have weaker calves, and you can focus on your calves, or you want to focus on bigger, stronger hamstrings. You could use a leg extension and strengthen that as well.
Yeah, so these will assist you in your core exercises, the essential exercises.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to start having people come up here. Who got the chest card? I remember I think I gave it to
push-ups.
Push-up. Oh, push-ups. There we go.
All right, so we're gonna show. So we're showing 3 different types of exercises you can do for your chest. So this is free weight, so you can use a bench press, just like the man right here in the picture is. There's a machine-based chest press, like the ones we have out here, just like the one we have in the picture. And there's bodyweight push-ups. And right now I'm gonna have Jared come up here. He's gonna demonstrate. So he's going to demonstrate how to do a push-up. So if you guys can move so you guys can all see.
Which way do you want me to face you? This way?
Power push-up. Power
Oh,
push-up.
All right, push-up contest. You face them and I face.
Okay, so right here you'll see that his hands are placed underneath his shoulders, protecting his shoulders. He's engaging his core, so he has a flat back. And I want you right now to bend your elbows, come down to the floor. Very good. Now you can extend your elbows, push back up. That's your push-up. Good. So I want you to perform 3 more reps so they can all see. Good. Notice how he's breathing. He breathes in as he's coming down, and he exhales as he's pushing up. Very good. Yes. Question.
If I'm new to resistance training and I can't quite do a push-up on my toes, what are my options?
Great.
So there's a modified push-up. Yeah, there's a modified push-up. For the modified, you would go on your knees. Same basic principle. You're gonna bend your elbows, coming down. You're gonna make sure that your hips are in line with your back. So none of this high hips, right? So like Adrian has high hips right now. Yeah. So notice how Jared has a flat back. His back and his hips are basically in line. If you notice that, set up your belly a little more. Stand up your core. There you go.
You want me to do that?
I want you to tighten up your core. There you go. Now, bend your elbows. Very good. Notice how Adrian has better form now. And then this is your modified push-up. So those of you who can't do the ones on your toes yet, this would be a great place to start. And that's your push-up.
I have a question.
Yes.
What about doing the push-up on the bar outside, or with the bar?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yes. So that's another modified way. So you can, another modified way to do a push-up would be like on a wall, or like you say on the bar. So if you, when your upper body is higher off the floor, it makes it a little easier. So that'd be another. So if the knee push-up is still a little too tough for you, then you can come up, raise higher. I would advise to find a good, something that's solid so that it doesn't collapse on you when you're doing the push-up. A good way to start would be on the wall, doing wall push-ups, and then progressing, getting lower, getting your upper body lower to the floor, going to the modified push-up, and then eventually the regular push-up.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions on exercises for your chest?
Yes.
When you're doing the push-up, what would be the difference when you have your hands really wide to your hands really narrow? What would be the difference in the muscle groups being used?
Well, when you have it really wide, more of your pectorals are working, so you're going to engage more of your chest muscles. And when you're having it really narrow, your more force is being placed on your tricep muscle. So whatever you want to work out for that day, just the wider you go, the more you're working on your chest, and the more narrow you go, the more you're working on your tricep.
Yes, push-up.
How comparable is the push-up to using equipment?
That depends on the person. They both have their benefits.
But would you work the same muscles in the same way?
They work slightly different just because you're doing a slightly different movements, but they are working the same muscles. Different way to work out the muscle if you want to have variety. Using a little bit of both would be ideal if you can. Yeah.
All right, so these are some exercises for your back. For free weight, we got the bend over barbell row. For machine base, we've got the lat pull down machine. And then body weight, we've got pull-ups. And for the resistance band, we got the band fly. Who got the band fly? That's really good. Right. Go ahead and give it.
Hang on. Yes.
All right, Cassidy. So can you come back to me? Ulises, can you come on here? And give a side profile of you. Go ahead and look at it. All right. So the way we start this off is we want to be in a, we want to have our hands in a supinated grip. That's our palms facing upward. And you want to be about shoulder length. You know, you don't want to go too far. I mean, the more narrow you make it, the harder this workout's going to be. So you have your arms extended all the way. Go ahead and extend your arms all the way. Make sure your chest is up, shoulders are back. And then you're just going to slowly extend out your arms laterally. And come back slowly. So as we're coming back, we're breathing out and breathing in as you're going forward. So right now, let's go over here. Go ahead and face the wall over here. So Ulises is trying to basically touch his shoulder blades together. You want to get that nice squeeze right there, working out your back. Make sure your arms are parallel to the floor at all times and perpendicular to your body. Yeah. And then that's a resistance fly work. That's a band fly workout. Anyone have any questions?
Just as a rule of thumb, is there something that you can think about when you're deciding whether you're going to take a breath in or out at which point of the exercise?
Anytime you're, I guess, exerting force. So with this, I'm pulling the band apart. You want to breathe out. And so when you're coming back to the neutral, to the starting position, you want to breathe in and out.
So the work is out.
Yeah. So the way you want to think about it is, anytime let's say if you're doing a push workout, anytime you're pushing, you're breathing out. If you're doing a pull workout, anytime you're pulling, you're breathing out as well. Any other
If you're having
questions?
a hard time with that, the important thing is just to breathe.
Yeah, just breathe. Yeah. Definitely. You don't want to not breathe. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to show you some shoulder exercises. So there's the free weight is a dumbbell lateral raise. So just like the man in the picture, we'll get a demo right now. There's a machine-based shoulder press, just like the man in the picture. And there's a body weight arm circles. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So who got the dumbbell lateral raise? Cecilia.
So you got the dumbbells. Okay, so on this one, we're going to get to the middle. And you just do it.
Okay, pretend I'm holding 50-pound dumbbells.
Okay, so you're going to stand, you're going to place your feet about shoulder distance apart. You're going to have a slight bend of the elbows. And when you come up, I want you to come up, bring your elbows, raising your elbows up, your arms up, making sure that your arms are a little bent, not 90 degrees, just a little bent, just like that. You're going to come up so your arms are parallel with the floor. Then you come raise it slowly, bring it back down. Very good.
So you're breathing out as you're bringing it up, and breathing in as you're going down.
And notice how Adrian has a very neutral, straight back. That's very important.
Yeah. You also want to make sure not to come up laterally, because then this increases the chances for shoulder impingement. So you want to keep your arms a little bit forward. Come up slowly.
And stopping just when your arms are parallel with the floor or in line with the shoulders. You don't need to go higher than that. Yeah.
Any questions? All right, so
Thank you, Cecilia. Ready to round of applause.
All right, so here are some exercises for your biceps. We've got the free weight, the dumbbell curls. And we've got machine-based cable curls. And then body weight chin-ups. Chin-ups are where you're grabbing chin-up bar with your palms facing forward and you're just pulling yourself up. We have just a regular chin-up machine and we have the assisted. So you can pick and choose. Can I have, who did I get dumbbell curls? All right, Phyllis. Let's do this. You got it? All right. Can I come up? Alright, so the way you start this workout, you have your dumbbells on your side in a neutral grip. Neutral means your thumbs are pointing forward. And we're going to start by doing it one arm at a time. So you're going to keep, think about your arm where it's positioned. It's going to be glued to your side, so the only thing moving is going to be your forearm. And as you're moving, you're going to turn your palm, have it face upward, contract that bicep muscle, make sure you pause for a second when you're up here, come down slowly. So you're breathing in, no, breathing out when you're coming up, and breathing back in when you're coming down. And demonstrate this side. You see how his arm's not moving? And he's rotating his palms as he's coming up. You want to get a nice contraction in the bicep when you come up. So squeeze as hard as you can for a second, and come back down. There you go. Good job, Liz.
I thought you were going to give me a 10 or 15 pounder.
Is it more beneficial than with two hands at the same time?
You can get done a lot faster.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, well, you'll use more energy. But if you're starting out, you know, single arm curls will probably be best for you.
Okay, now we're going to show some tricep exercises, so the back of your arm. So the free weight option is dumbbell kickbacks. We'll be demonstrating that really quick. There's a machine-based press downs, just like the man on the picture. And there's a body weight dips, just like the woman in the picture. These are assisted dips. You have the option of being assisted or unassisted. For kickbacks, who has the dumbbell kickbacks? Perfect. All right. So for this one, we're gonna go to the back of the room and we're gonna use the bench. So if everyone,
if you guys can
just
put your attention
around,
to the back
yeah.
of the room.
We'll grab this one right here. Oh, right here. Let's look inside. Yeah, let's look inside. Yes. So for this exercise, we're gonna place we're gonna have half our body on the bench, the other half on, away from the bench. So we're gonna have one knee on our bench, so you can come to the side of the bench. So we're gonna
Grab a dumbbell with your right hand, and then put your left knee under just one of and then put your left knee on.
So place our left knee. So if you're working on the right side, you place your left knee on the bench. You place your left arm also on the bench. Yeah. Making sure your back is flat, so making straight back. Yeah. Right. Now what you're gonna do, you're gonna bring your elbow up to 90-degree angle. Keep it close to your body, keep it close to your torso. What you're gonna do is you're gonna extend your elbow, so you can extend your elbow back. Oh, sorry.
So you're keeping your arm glued to your side.
And then arm a little lower. You get a 90-degree angle. There you go. So start right here. You're gonna bring your forearm back. So extending your forearm.
So the only thing that should be moving
Yes. And you're gonna stop. You're gonna stop when you still have a slight bend in the elbow. You're not necessarily gonna lock out your elbow. So you still have a slight bend when you come to the top. Stop right there. Don't lock out your elbow. Just keep it loose, a soft bend.
Yeah, so for most of these workouts, you want to make sure you always keep a slight bend in your joints, because you don't want to hyperextend, then risk injuring one of the ligaments in your elbows. And that's the dumbbell kickback. You're welcome. What was that?
That's what I mean.
I like to sit down. While moving the back.
Can you do that?
Oh, you can do that. Yeah, that's another workout. That's
Can you do that standing?
Yeah, and then you can grab a dumbbell. You would want to do it. Well, if you want to do it one-sided, you can put it on the back of your head. Just extend it. Just be careful with the amount of weight you put, because that might put a lot of stress on your shoulder joints. So I would recommend starting with a lighter weight, and just basically the same thing you said. About a 90-degree angle, come up to where it's slightly bent. Don't extend all the way.
What happens if you use a higher weight and you use muscle weight?
Yes.
Well, it's you'd be activating more muscle fibers for sure,
Yeah.
and it'd be harder on you. But I'd say start off with a lower weight and see if your joints can handle it, and then slowly progress. So if you start off with 20 pounds 1 week, you want to stay on that for about 1 or 2 weeks. Next week progress to 25, see how that feels, and yeah, it's all about how you feel, how your shoulder joints feel.
Yeah, it'll be easier for performing the double-handed just because you have more stability. Otherwise, you kind of feel like you're going one side. So using both arms will help with stability. Making sure your elbows are also in front of you, not flaring out to the sides. Yes, right in front of you. Yes. You're gonna keep a slight bend in the elbows once you come to the top, not necessarily locking out and coming out. There you go, just like that.
Nice. Alright, so the exercise for your abs. You all like these? Free weights, weighted crunches. Machine based, so the seated ab machine. Yep. And then everybody's favorite, the plank. The body weight. Who's got my plank? John, alright, come up here, John. Alright, go ahead. Ulises, can you do a side profile of me?
You could do
just looking forward, this direction. Alright, so the way I like to start off planks is first getting on my knees and then coming on my forearms. Make sure your forearms are right beneath your shoulder, and then right when you got them right underneath your shoulder, you want to extend 1 foot at a time, and then just keep your body as straight as possible. So you don't want to arch your back. You don't want to keep it too low. You want to keep it nice and tight. Like John's doing a really good job right now. He's doing actually another position where you can do it with your hands. You know, if you want to make it a little tougher. But if you want to start off, we could also do planks with our knees on the floor. Ulises, can you demonstrate that? All flexing your abs and keeping them nice and tight. Good job, John.
That's it?
Cool. So we're going to demonstrate exercise for your quads. So the free weight version of exercising your quads would be a squat. Machine based leg extension, just like the man in the picture. And we have the body weight lunges. So if I have my squats over here.
Rosselli,
alright. Okay, so for this one, we're going to have a steady stand with your feet hip distance apart. She's going to initiate the movement. So the whole time she's going to keep straight back, facing forward. So she's going to initiate the movement by breaking at the hips and bending her knees, as if she was going to sit in a chair. There you go. Just like that. And notice how she's facing forward, she has a flat back. I like your reps. Yeah, very good. Notice how, so most of her weight is placed on her heel, making sure she's supporting herself with her heel. And she's coming down to where her thighs are about parallel with the floor. If you cannot get there yet, that's fine. You can get to where you can, and move your way, progress yourself to get to where your thighs are about parallel with the floor. That's it.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you don't have too much forward lean on your upper torso, because then you might risk injuring your back. So you want to have about, I would say, 30 degrees. Well, just not too much. Just like right here, this is way too much. So you want to keep it like just a little forward, breaking at the hips. Make sure your knees aren't passing your toes. So you want to keep your knees behind your toes at all times. Pretend like there's like a imaginary wall in front of your toes, and if you touch it, then your knees have gone too far. So you just want to just give that motion. Pretend you're sitting back on something. You want to go parallel if you can. It's totally fine. You can go a little bit above parallel if you want.
Just maintain that open chest, straight back.
And again, breathing in as you're pushing up. Well, breathing out as you're pushing up, and breathing in as we're going down. Any questions?
Are there any advantages of the different, would the machines be better or do more or the same? Are they all equal or?
Well, with regular body weight squats, if you're a beginner and you don't have that quad strength, that lower body strength, you might want to start off on the machines and build up to that strength to where you can do squats.
Yeah, but if you notice, so a squat and a leg extension, leg extension are very different. So a squat, you're activating more muscle groups, whereas the leg extension, you only focus on your quadriceps.
Yeah, so this would be known as a core exercise because you're working out 2 or more muscle two or more joints. You got the knee
So there's
joint, you got the
benefits to
hip
both.
joint. And for this is an accessory workout. You've just got the knee joint working here, and that's primarily primarily targeting your quadriceps.
So there's benefits to both. Yes, question.
If you're particularly tight in the tendon in the back of the foot, can you just make your legs wider apart to compensate for that? Or do you just don't go down as far?
So are you talking about
Achilles tendon.
Okay, so for that, you just, like I said earlier, you don't want to make your knees past your toes, because you notice it's like I'm making my knees past my toes. I start stretching out the Achilles tendon. So that's why you want to keep it nice and back behind your toes. So you see how I'm going down? That's not, my foot isn't moving at all. My ankle isn't moving at all. But I'm coming forward. Oh, whoops. You're going to rupture my Achilles tendon.
Gotcha.
You can work your way down. So get to where you feel most comfortable, where you feel slight discomfort. If it's too uncomfortable, then that's don't go that deep, and then you'll progress down to that. Eventually, you'll start working your way lower to where your thighs and pelvis can go. But just work where you can, where there's slight discomfort, not pain.
All right. And last but not least, we've got our hamstrings. All right, so free weight workout for this would be the stiff leg deadlifts. Machine base, the leg curls. We got the ones where you're sitting upright and you're just pulling your leg as close to your butt as you can. And then we've also got the one where you're like laying down on your stomach and you're doing the same movement. And then we've got the body weight. We've got the leg curls with the stability ball. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the stiff leg deadlift. Pauline, I think you got my stiff leg deadlift. Let's give Pauline a round of applause. This is exciting. Elise, can you come up here? All right. There you go. All right, so we're going to start off with the dumbbells on our side. Have a slight bend in your knee. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. And then we're going to come down slowly with our dumbbells in front of us. Not bending our knees, just keeping it that nice slight bend, coming down, keeping your back nice and straight. And you want to go down to where if you start to curve, you've gone down too far. From there, you just want to come straight up, keeping your back straight at all times. So once again, you're coming down, breathing in, and when you're coming back up, breathing out with a pull. In and out. Notice Ulises' nice straight back, and Pauline's doing a really, really great job at keeping your knees slightly bent. And that's how you do a stiff leg deadlift.
Is it good to go down farther or
To where you feel
Yeah.
slight discomfort. If you start to feel pain, you don't want to go that low. Yeah, that's how you do it. Thank you, Pauline.
Adrian, I have a question.
Yeah.
When you say slight discomfort, do you mean your legs or your
Oh, I mean you should be feeling it in the back of your
Yes.
thigh, so your hamstring muscles. Any other questions? All right. Wrap up. Train. It's good for you. Anybody have any questions? Carrying a lot of nuts. You have a question, please?
Me?
Yeah.
For the mature individual that's in reasonably good shape, if I understand what you're saying, you've got to continually up the ante to maintain what you got.
Yeah. Or to increase lean muscle mass. Yeah.
Yeah, just
So
work a little.
you're just going on and on. There has to be some limit where you
There will. You'll reach a stage that's known as a plateau where you can't go anymore, and that's when you just change your workout. And that's the beauty about working out. There's so many different things that we can do, whether it's machine based, whether it's free weight based, whether it's body weight. You can do anything.
So
honestly.
you change in exercise when you plateau.
Yeah. So when you can't increase, let's say you're on bench press and you've got like 500 pounds on there. I know you can go a little more, but if you can't do any more, then
That's for you
you know.
young guys.
maybe you don't even necessarily have to switch the workout. You can switch the phase you're in. So let's say you're working on strength, and you notice that your endurance has been kind of lacking a little. You can go back to endurance and start over with a different weight. So that answers your question.
If you work out in the morning, what should you eat before you come?
Oh, that is beyond my scope of practice. Yeah, you gotta make sure you have an adequate supply of water, carbs, protein, fat, everything. And there's a good website that lets you know all that. It's called myplate.gov, and basically tells you recommendations that you should have for your for your height and everything. So yeah, never ask a personal trainer here unless they're a what do you call them? A registered nutritionist, about diet, because that's beyond our scope of practice.
Who would be available at the LifeFit Center if I had a nutritionally related
Oh, I'll let Ulises take this one.
We have a nutritionist. She's a nutrition counselor. Her name is Sabari Gonzalez. So I don't know if you've seen the flyers. There's flyers out that have been made about getting nutrition counseling with Sabari Gonzalez. Yeah. So
His girlfriend.
If any of you are interested,
Power duo.
If any of you are interested in nutrition counseling, you can go ahead and I think there's a flyer up at the front. There's a public flyer here on the side of the building. You can see her email. You can send her an email that you're interested in nutrition counseling, and she can help you find a plan for you to complement your workouts.
Will your presentation be on the website so we can refer to it?
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
It'll be on the website.
You can't remember all that stuff.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of information.
Yeah. If there was anything that was unclear for you guys, ask away. We can clarify it for you guys.
And maybe if you don't think of the questions now, you can feel free to contact us. We put our emails up there. So go ahead and just send us an email and we'll reply to you as soon as we can.
And I wanted to speak real quick to Patty's earlier question/statement about seeing the value of muscular endurance and muscular hypertrophy, but maybe not as much in the strength and power. I just wanted to say this because I think it's so important that a lot of the research that's out in the scientific world right now related to fall prevention and bone health for older adults is pointing to strength and power being the most important characteristics that we can train to help prevent falls and help build bone and help prevent bone loss. So those two are incredibly important muscular characteristics to train.
I was wondering with power too, because what happens when people fall, they fall and it's so fast you don't even have time to put your hands out. That's what causes people to really hurt themselves. Do you think power is that idea of, like you were saying, where you're so quick? Is that what kind of is helping with the fall part of it?
And in order to have muscular power, we have to have muscular strength. So it's the combination, because you have to have enough strength to be able to catch yourself and slow the fall. And training muscular power also helps with your agility, which these guys were speaking to, the ability to move a little bit faster and react a little bit quicker. So those in combination are going to help a lot. Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that was very important.
Yeah, definitely endurance and hypertrophy also aid in this. For hypertrophy, the more muscle you have, the more stronger you can get. And for endurance is just a good way to start off, just so you can build up that stamina in your muscles to help you out with the later stages during your workout.
Is that also the fast twitch muscles?
Endurance would be like slow twitch muscle fibers, because you're just focusing on as many reps as you can, not the speed. Power would be more fast twitch muscles. Any other questions?
Well, before you leave, we do have a little survey for you if you wouldn't mind filling out a review on this workshop. Stay tuned for future ones. But let's please give Ulises and Adrian a If you'd like to chat with them about training, you can either contact them directly or let me know or the service desk, and we can get you in touch with these guys or any of our wonderful trainers.
All right, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks for participating. That was good.
Oh, I've got is that on there? You see that big box?
Really well. No, I was
And you've got about 45 minutes or so.
yeah. So, that's good that you're aware of that. We're still gonna get the same. Yeah, I see that. That's a good workout. You feel a lot of your arms. Yeah, I don't think he was coming.
Emily, I'll drop this off.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, John, again, for demonstrating.
Right on, Walter.
And then the cycling. Thanks for asking all those questions.
Yeah, well, I just wanted an answer.
Thank you.
I sure did.
Any other help?
Maybe signing out with that.
Hey, see you Friday.
All
Bye. Good job.
So I had the marketing goal, and then Heather had to go to intern hours. Yeah. Marketing, programming. Thank you very much for listening.
This stuff interesting, because you never know.
Oh, that's right. That's what you just. It starts next Friday.
Yeah, I know. Great. You know, I used to work at Foxley, there's one dog. Do you want these? At diabetes himself. I also always talk about his training. So I just don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
I do. Okay. You know.
Yeah, now you realize like a lot of people you realize that it's good for your bones because they think it's just muscle that's improving. But when you
No, I know it's good for the body.
yeah, definitely.
I just, you know, I'll come in, I just there, I do stretching, so I wasn't worried about what
Yeah.
Yeah, totally fine.
You know, and so I try to mix it up.
All right, see ya. Okay, bye. Bye.
Okay. Yeah. How long have you been working on this? Oh, that'll help them?
I think just